What's up, Broncos? My name is Eric Millen, and today we're doing deep dive with the Skydive Broncos. Let's dive into it.
Hello everyone, my name is Bronco Bruce. On today's deep dive, we're covering the Skydive Broncos RSO. We will be following the veteran jumper Molly as she does her final dive before being recognized as a proficient skydiver across the country nationally. But before getting into that, let's get some more information on Skydive Broncos for some of their members, shall we? We talked to a few members to get their take on the club. A real view from the eyes of day-to-day members. They all had quite a lot to say. To start, let's find out how they first got into skydiving.
To be honest, this probably sounds weird, but it all started with snowboarding.
Both my parents have jumped before, just once tandems, and I was kind of too young to do it myself, but I always wanted to do it.
I actually met the president at the time at East Egg during breakfast one morning.
I've heard that it was an excellent opportunity to just go out and experience something that not a lot of people get to do.
I just fell in love with snowboarding. And it made me realize, like, all right, if I love this much, what other things in life have I not looked at that maybe I should look at?
I heard about Western Skydiving Club, and I didn't really know if I wanted to keep doing it, but I know that I wanted to try, and so why not try at this incredible rate that we have it, and if I want to keep going, I can.
Okay, what's their favorite aspect of the club?
The best part about skydiving is how it changes you. You know, this is an absolutely transformational sport. You are not the same person after you become a skydiver that you were before.
Definitely the community. We have so many different social media platforms and group chats all throughout the day. We're talking to each other about the team or about skydiving, not about skydiving.
Pulling the parachute is always a good feeling. The parachute opening, that's great.
There's so many things that people are after in their lives and things that they're willing to build into themselves that skydiving kind of automatically builds into: self-reliance, responsibility.
Yeah, the culture is definitely huge. We've definitely built a team of individuals that are really, truly friends with each other.
We've really come together as a group, and it's nice that we can be there for each other at the drop zone and off the drop zone.
Landing, all your buddies are on the ground. The camaraderie. The food is really good. Usually we have the ripest peaches around at the drop zone. It's just a good time, always.
Once you start doing this kind of thing, you start to realize and unlock parts of yourself that just make you a beast in every part of life. And I think really, honestly, that's the part of skydiving that pays dividends more than anything else.
Alright, what are some of the best stories from their jumps?
Probably the coolest stories come from Molly. Her first clear and pull, first time actually pulling her cord. She actually had a cutaway, which means the first chute just didn't even open.
First clear and pull, which is your fifth jump where you're actually pulling your own chute rather than the instructor. I had a malfunction, so basically my chute didn't come out properly. I had line twists, and I had to cut away and pull my reserve, which, whole big deal, but you know, it was fun, still jumping, still love it, not hurt from that one.
I'm one of those people that I had a little bit of trouble in my progression. So normally the progression is you go out, you get stable, and you start learning how to turn. I went out and I was unstable, and I was unstable, and then I was unstable again. In total, I have 7 unstable skydives.
3 months ago, I broke my finger while on jumping. That was a landing. My fault. Instead of keeping my hands in where they're supposed to be on a PLF, as soon as my feet hit the ground, I put my hands out, and the toggle wrapped around, rolled under my body, and snapped my finger. So I was out for about 2.5 months.
I had 3 unstable skydives in one day where I went out and I tumbled completely and totally out of control, had a bunch of line twists in my parachute, and then got back in the plane about 30 minutes later.
Breaks her finger on the landing, goes to physical therapy, comes back and...
I nailed one of the flags out on the airport, just ran straight into it. Kind of bounced off, got back up.
In order for me to get myself straightened out, I had to go to the wind tunnel in Chicago and practice. So it's kind of a running joke in the team that the president of the team is the worst skydiver out of all of us. It's something that I think is kind of interesting, but at the same time, I learned a lot about myself through that process and pushing myself through that.
What we like to do on the weekends sometimes is we like to go to what we call the Little House, and we have campfires there, and we have barbecues, and sometimes we chill out and watch a movie. It's just a great place to get to know the veteran skydivers and to truly get to feel what it was like for them when they went through what we were going through.
Skydiving obviously has its risks, but definitely a fun time. We've spent time out in Little House, watching horror movies, eating food here. The pros definitely outweigh the cons. So today I'm doing my student jump. So if I clear this jump, I'll be off student status, which means I no longer need an instructor to be up in the plane with me when I go out to jump. And then after this jump, I'll have 6 more jumps until I get my A license, which means I'm recognized around the world or around the US as a proficient skydiver, basically, so I can go anywhere I want.
With that nailed down and shut, let's return to our subject, Molly, to see how she's preparing for her jump.
What are we doing today, Jared?
Hey Molly, you want to go make a skydive?
Heck yeah.
Let's go do that. So this is your level 16 jump.
Right.
So this is your very last jump before you're off student status.
Awesome.
Super exciting.
Yeah.
This jump requires that we're going to work on RW stuff, relative work, meaning you and I, being relative to each other, can actually do some maneuvers in the air together. We're going to go up, set up our exit in the airplane, which is going to be steps all the way going to be out there. We're going to then have you set up on the step like you had before. It's going to be that traditional poised to exit. Yep. Jump run's still going to be to the west with the winds out of the west that we have. Your right hand can be on the strut to have that. And your left arm, again, I'm going to have big grippers and stuff. You can already be docked with that. I'm going to be docked with you as well, reaching over, okay? So once we're back belly to earth here, we're going to be docked just like this. What we need for this 2 dive, exactly. We just need 2 docks.
Right.
So if we do it real, we'll probably be floating around just a little bit, little maneuvers, stay on level, do all that stuff you know how to do. And I'm just going to be presenting, waiting. This is your skydive becoming, just boom. There's 1 dock.
Nod.
Yep. Altitude check.
Right.
And then go ahead and let go for a second one. Floating around, floating around. Come on in. Boom. There's a successful jump.
Today I'm flying the 210. Flown it once before, so we'll see how it goes. We start off with a gear check, which you go top to bottom, back to front, front to back, it doesn't really matter. Under here, this is our man canopy. This is what pulls out my chute, so it's called a pilot chute. So I pull that, chuck it, we're good. Checking the front, 3 ring systems, making sure it goes metal, fabric, metal, fabric, metal. This is a flyable chute. So now we're gonna put it on. Are we that close? Yeah, they are. It's just landed.
Let's gear up.
Chest strap. I'll have Jared check me over just in case I mess up.
Let me see the altimeter.
Altimeter, make sure it's at 0, because if it's not, it's going to change when you're above. So,
And actually, I think I hear an airplane, so this timed up pretty perfect.
so we are ready for a jump.
There we go.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
As the sky starts to darken with the rolling clouds, the amount of time left for a safe jump is coming to a close quickly. Before the weather changes too drastically, everyone loads up the plane for takeoff. The ascent is slow and jostling, taking about 15 minutes to reach altitude. But these experienced jumpers still look on with smiles on their faces and determination in their hearts. As the plane is in position, the side door is swung open with a rush of air. The jumpers start to maneuver themselves into the wing of the plane. Once they're out of the door, they know it's too late to turn back. Pausing only for a moment, they're off from the plane, plunging from a whopping 5,000 feet. At max speed, jumpers start to reach upwards of 130 feet per second, with passing winds being a bone-chilling 30 degrees Fahrenheit. Their stated goal in this jump is to perform a docking maneuver, linking up arms while in midair. However, complications erupt, and due to the relatively low jump, there is no time to correct. Most of our jumpers have no problems with their chutes until instructor Dave. His chute nearly twists itself into knots, narrowly avoiding having to cut to his backup parachute. They pull their chutes, preparing for a landing. Only moments later on the ground, Dave makes a buttery smooth landing. showing no fear from what happened only seconds ago. With everyone safe and grounded on terra firma, let's look at their after-action report.
Position there. I love that. Ready?
Ready?
Yeah.
Is that 2 seconds, 1 second? Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
And then, yeah, we just like arch out perfectly.
Yep. It spun, which doesn't matter,
right.
but that's the only thing.
But
We did a 180.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we kept at it.
All in all, I thought for what we had to work with, for how it went as far as the altitude that we were cut, the exit that, or I'm sorry, the count that didn't go as planned, but the exit that we pulled it off with, I thought it was an awesome jump. And again, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, we'll
do it next
get
time.
the other ones right, exactly. So, cool. Questions?
No.
Happy with it?
Yeah. That was
job,
a fun
Mom.
exit.
That was really.
Well, there you have it, Broncos. Skydive Broncos is a club that heralds the adventurer seeking to tame the skies while also making lasting friendships back on the ground. If you want more information on Skydive Broncos, their information is included in the description below the video. Make sure to subscribe if you want more deep dive content like this. This is Broncos.